What a day. Alright, let's go home. Press and hold. Today is Monday, June 23rd. Let's talk about Robotaxi. It just got unveiled yesterday on June 22nd in Austin, Texas. You know, I've looked at all the videos from all the YouTubers, content creators regarding Tesla. For some reason, there was no media invited on this event, which is amazing. Which I don't blame them, because all the media on TV, all they talk about is, you know, all negative things about Tesla. Because Tesla doesn't advertise, you know, their TV channel doesn't get, you know, Tesla doesn't pay them basically because they don't advertise. But all other car company like Ford, especially, you know, GM, we always say good things about them because they get paid. I think that was a, you know, that was a good part of Tesla doing that. Give it to all the people that are actually making content about Tesla, telling the truth about Tesla, and there's no bias advice. It was amazing that Robotaxi just unveiled yesterday, and now I have my own personal Robotaxi. Basically, if you think about it, I just have to sit on this passenger seat and then it will just drive itself. Technically it's already driving itself, but you know, I just have to sit down. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm driving home, but a Robotaxi is made for supposedly no drive. It's a driverless you know, car, taxi. You sit on the back and there will be no drivers, you know, in front. Well, yesterday there was a safety driver. They call it safety driver because they just unveiled, you know, they're new. Oh, we're actually going to be going left here. It's a very, very busy intersection, so I got to pay attention here. Perfect. And nice. Woo! That was really good. That was smooth. Feels very confident driver. Just imagine this. A driverless car. That's what Robotaxi is. If I just have to sit right here on the passenger or in the back, I have my own personal Robotaxi now. I've been driving or using the full self, supervised full self driving everywhere I go. Yesterday we went to in Kissimmee, Florida. That's about almost close to 2-hour drive, and it's driving itself. You know, it was downpour yesterday too. It was pouring rain like crazy, and it handled pretty well. No issues. You know, we went to back roads to the highway. No problem. Man, I was so happy. You know, this is part of my thesis, is the Robotaxi thesis, you know, and it finally came true yesterday. And all the Tesla investors have been waiting for this time to come. It's crazy. What other car company can do this? You know, you buy a car for like $41,000 for a Model Y right now, with everything taken out with the incentives. $41,000. You can't beat that, you know, and it drives itself. It just makes your life so comfortable. Like, you know, like coming out of work. You just want to just sit back, relax, and just, you know, let the car drive you. Whew, that's a nice McLaren right there. 720S on the left. And that car is about probably around 120, 150. But can it drive itself? That's the question. I have a Tesla Model Y Juniper 2026, and pretty much can drive me anywhere I go. Eventually the world know when Robotaxi is going to be everywhere. Tesla's going to be everywhere. Well, they're already everywhere. They're already #1 car, you know, in the US. Woo, look at that. Look at that McLaren 720S. Sounds pretty good. But can it drive? I would take this any day. I would take this any day than the McLaren. Man, you just sit back here and just you know, watch the road. You don't have to think. You don't have to overthink anything. I can't wait till Robotaxi is going to be on every state. Man, that's going to be crazy. So yesterday they have a flat rate of $4.20. You know, it's flat rate, same charge wherever you go. But I think it's just temporary. It's just, you know, Elon has this thing with 420, so this probably is just temporary. One, they, you know, when they get going and everything, it's gonna be like, you know, they're gonna be, you know, a particular dollar per mile rate, you know, fee basically. And it's gonna be cheaper than Uber, you know, cheaper than Lyft or Waymo. And like I said in the videos before, about, you know, nobody's gonna buy a car. Why would you buy a car when you don't have to worry about car insurance, car payments, car maintenance. You don't have to worry about getting tickets because the Robotaxi can drive itself. And I'm assuming, if there's for some any reason you get pulled over, I think it would go by under, the Tesla Robotaxi, not by you. You're just a passenger, I'm assuming. So this is a work hour traffic where, the street, everybody goes. Perfectly, it yields in front of the car that's trying to change lane in front of me. Like yesterday we drove coming back, from Kissimmee, Orlando, and on the way back we drove flawlessly on the rain, in a downpouring rain, no problem. You just want to, after work, you just want to unwind, or even going to work, you just have your tea, and you have a chance to prepare yourself for your day. No other car can do that. Let the car drive you everywhere you want to go. Just basically free your mind, of stress. Perfect lane change. So I'm on standard mode right now. I'm trying to decide which one I like, because the hurry mode is nice. I don't know, it's it changes lane more often than I like. Looking back, like a year from now, when Robotaxi is going to be successful, this will be a nice video to look back and watch. This is the day after Robotaxi unveiled, and then we can compare it from a year from now, and then you can see, not a lot of people know about this yet, but they already started in Austin, Texas. It's crazy. I just saw a kid right there. We're just driving with it, it's not even paying attention. It's crazy. That's how accident happen. Always on your phone. This is still way better, and it's way safer. Basically it has 8 cameras compared to a person that has only two eyes. And this 8 cameras is surrounding the car. And it drives really fast if you wanted to. The only thing I'm afraid of, eventually it's going to happen. There's always going to be a mistake. And then just one mistake and the media is going to be all over it. A mistake of just, missing a lane or missing an exit or, I don't know. But Waymos, when I looked at all the videos online, where I saw a video where, it blocked an ambulance, a fire truck, and it's just not one Waymo, there was like a bunch of cars blocked. That's pretty bad. Or a Waymo going the wrong way. They were saying this is just right now with Robotaxi, when they just started, it's geo-fenced, which is it's just a particular part of Austin right now that what they're doing. But of course, they just started it. They always prioritize safety, as they should. And eventually, like everything else, any product launch, it's gonna, step by step, it's gonna gradually, make it better. There's not gonna be any more safety driver on the passenger seat. It's just gonna be the car and the passenger who's, hailing a ride. And then, I think they said, Elon said it was just gonna be 10 to 20 cars. But on a picture I saw online, there were 35 Robotaxi that was active online. So maybe there's 35 instead of 20, or 10 to 20. And that's just a blink of, it's just one day. Imagine what can it do in a month or 2 to 3 months from now. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than 35, and then eventually it's going to go to the next state. I'm hoping it will be in Florida, and also, hopefully, because that was the main plan, was to have a customer or a Model Y that owns a Tesla, whatever, Model Y, Model 3, they can have their own car, put it on a Robotaxi fleet. Because that was my plan, that hopefully I can have at least, I don't know, three Robotaxi, and I become a Robotaxi fleet manager, where they were saying that it can make you up to 30 to 40,000 a year annually. So think of it as like it's like an Airbnb, but instead of a house, it will be an Airbnb for your car, where you can decide if you want your car to be rented out. It can have somebody, rent out your car as like an Uber. You can put it on the fleet and then online, and then somebody, if you're working, your car will also work for you while you're not while you're not using it. Think of it. You go to work 7:30, you get there around 8, and then 8 hours of the day your car is just parked, collecting dust or pollen here in Florida. And it can actually work for you. Imagine if you have 3 of those. Damn. That'll be nice. And imagine if it can, if it can make 40 per car, so you have about 120,000 a year. Man, I don't have to work. I can just be a fleet manager, you know. I can just be like, wait at home, you know, when the car needs to charge, I can just charge it or whatever, clean it. But they were talking about it will be like, we don't know it yet, but there will be a wireless charger where the car will just charge itself. It will go back to that base and charge itself, so you don't really have to do anything. And there was a video of a robot arm that could actually clean inside your car. So basically, I don't have to do anything. If we have 3 cars, that will be 40K per car, 120 a year, and then I'll just stay home, maybe travel, take care of my family. That'll be nice. And then the following year, add another car in the fleet, make it 4. And you're gonna have 160, and then another car will make it 5. You're gonna make, what's that? 200K a year? Damn. That was my plan before. You know, I was thinking like, man, if I have a Robotaxi fleet and I became a fleet manager, I'll just do whatever it needs to do, you know, to run it. It's not gonna happen now. Eventually it's gonna happen, but Tesla is just gonna do it by themselves first, and then they're gonna let other customer put their car in the fleet. And I believe that, because even though Elon sometimes is over optimistic with his, you know, time frame, but the only thing is eventually it will happen. Well, yeah, the future is so much brighter. And I gotta tell you a story. When we went to Vegas, that was, I think, last year, and we just want to get from one place to another. It was only like, I don't know, a 6-7 minute drive. The Uber driver cost us around $55 for that 6-minute drive. That is crazy expensive. And you know, Tesla, they're gonna have their Robotaxi, which is supposed to be way cheaper than Uber. And they were saying, there were some rumors that it's supposed to be like, you know, 50 cents to $1 per mile. That's crazy. That's crazy cheap. And I believe it's because most of its profit from Uber, you know, it goes to the driver, which makes sense. You know, you gotta pay the driver too because they're using their own car. Uber is just an app. It's just an app. It's just a platform where you can make extra money, you know, and they get a cut from that, which that's why it's expensive. But if you think about it, a Robotaxi, there's no driver at all. You know, it would just do this, change lane, and everything goes to, you know, the Robotaxi or the person who's in charge with the fleet. And of course, Tesla will have a cut for that, but it won't be as much as when you have a driver on the car. And because there's no driver, the fare or or the fee for the Robotaxi will be cheaper. And that's when I said on the last video that having a driver's license or having a car, nobody's gonna buy one, which is sad. But it just makes sense. And having a personal car will be considered as luxury now, because why would you buy a car when you can just get a Robotaxi for cheaper? No more maintenance, no more gas, no more car insurance, no more car payments, no more headaches. You just sit back. Yesterday I saw some videos on the Robotaxi where, like I said again on my last video, where everything is customized for you. When you get in, you make your profile. If you don't have a Tesla, you make your profile. It will play the music that you last played before when you went to your last Robotaxi drive, and then when you get in, it will have your own temperature that you like, the music that you like, the movies that you like, whatever, Netflix or YouTube if you want, because you can watch that in the back of the car. It has a screen, and that's it. You just sit back there and just relax and wait till you get home or wherever you're going. Full self-driving or Robotaxi definitely saves lives. You don't have to, drive after you went out, and when you went out for drinking, and you just hail a Robotaxi, it will pick you up in the bar. This is the beginning. Can't imagine what's going to happen in the next year. Just put yourself in my seat right now. You get off work, you get in your car, start FSD, and you just sit back and just contemplate or think what you're going to make for dinner, which what I'm thinking now, and it's just felt so like when you get home, you just feel so relaxed. You don't have to worry about the traffic. Can't wait for the next version. Oh, and one thing, I was just thinking about this. This is the only car that I own that as the car gets old, it will get better. Does it make sense? As the car gets old, it will get better. No, I don't think. My other cars before, as it get old, it gets worse. It gets worse in miles per gallon. It gets worse in driving. It makes a lot of noise. This car actually makes it better as you own it. It would have updates. That's why I was saying, like, I can't wait for the new update to come for the full self-driving. And then right now it's version 13.2.9. When version 14 comes, it's supposed to be way better. Less snag, supposed to be way better than this, which is already been. It's already, you've seen it. This video from the start all the way. I haven't touched the steering wheel at all, and we're about 5 minutes to get home. And this is the only car that, as long as you own it, it will get better. Can't beat that. And the drive is so smooth, so confident, no hesitation. I think it's about to rain again. It's around this time in Florida where it rains later during the day. Yep, I'm gonna pull into my community. I guess I'll see you again next time. Have a good one.